Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. Hi, I'm Karen Mashures, and today we're doing something slightly Spanish. The first thing that we're going to make is an almond crisp cookie. And when I get ready to serve it, I'm going to serve it with a lovely sherbet ice cream. We are going to make a paella, a little bit different, not quite traditional, because we're using mixed meats and cabbage. The third thing that we're going to make today is a garlic mushroom toast appetizer. So let's get started with our first wonderful dish. It's called almond crisps. This is so easy. It is almost fail-safe. We've got 2/3 of a cup of sugar, putting it right in our food processor. I've got 2/3 of a cup of almonds, and they're going right on top. I've got 2 tablespoons of flour, and I'm just going to sprinkle that around, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And I am going to start this going because we're going to make these almonds almost turn into a paste. All right, make sure the top's on good and pulse. Want to break up all those almonds. Okay, that looks good. We have got just about the right consistency here, and I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. And we're going to get that in that way. Gives it a little bit of brightness, a little bit of flavor. Just don't get the white pith. Okay, let's get this last little bit in. We're going to give that another quick pulse. And now it's time for our butter. I have 6 tablespoons of butter, and it's still cold. I'm going to pop it in and give it a little pulse, and then a few more slices, another little pulse, and we're going to put the rest in, top on, and we're going to turn it on. We're going to let that all incorporate. Can you see it's turning into a dough-like consistency? We're going to turn it off real fast. Get this off. And I'm just going to give it a quick stir. Want to make sure all the sugar is off the bottom. Okay, let's put it back on for another 30 seconds. And the dough is ready. All right, let's get this out of my processor. And I'm going to put it in this little bowl right here. Okay, now it's time to work with fingers. And what I'm going to do is just push the dough together. Want it to become one nice ball. You can feel just a little bit of the almond in there. Now I have, in making this recipe in the past, realized that these cookies expand greatly. And I am cooking them on 2 cookie sheets instead of 1. So there'll be 6 cookies on each sheet. And I'm going to make the ball about 1.5 inches in diameter. You can see it's just about 1.5 inches. I've got a prepared pan. I've just lightly done it in butter. And we're going to put this close to the center. And we're going to keep rolling balls until we've got it all done. All right, this is the last one. And you can see exactly how I've spaced these on my cookie sheet. Let me get rid of that real fast. I'm going to wipe off my hands, and I'm going to show you the last step in getting these ready to go into the oven. I have a small glass, and what I do is just tap it the first time, a little bit of sugar, and press it out to where it's about 2.5 inches. And these cookies will just about expand to cover this whole pan. So if you get them not spaced right, you have to cut them apart. These are going to go into a 350 oven for about 12 minutes, maybe up to 15 in your oven. Want them golden brown, so let's go put these in real fast. All right, we'll check those in 10 to 12 minutes. I'm just going to do a little cleaning up in the meantime. All right, we're back. I have taken the first batch out of the oven. I'm getting the second batch out now. They've cooled just a little bit, and I want to show you that you can take any kind of cylindrical item such as a glass or even a rolling pin like I am, and you can form these to fit for presentation. We're just going to take the rest of these off, put them on a cooling rack, and I want to show you how I'm going to make my dessert presentation. Okay? Let's get this off and out of the way. I have got one of those pretty martini glasses, and I'm just going to take some nice big scoops of sherbet, and I'm using lime because I think it'll make the tastes of the paella meld with the dessert. It'll work in the flavor of the freshness of lime. Okay. Just 2 nice scoops. And we are going to garnish this with our cookie. And I'm going to take this one, I think. I want to make it look like it belongs right on the side. I'm going to take a piece of mint, and I grew this mint in my garden, so it is fresh, fresh, fresh. And this is the way we're going to serve it to our guests. So I'm going to take a little break. We're going to clean up our little mess, and we'll be back to make paella.
Almond plus Prosciutto Electric plus Maytag equals 1 legendary apple pie. It begins with the finest ingredients kept Maytag fresh. Then, Maytag's precise baking means the flakiest, tastiest crust ever. Finally, her ultra-quiet Maytag dishwasher makes cleanup ultra easy. Mom, apple pie and Maytag. Dependably yours at Prosciutto Electric stores.
ATMC Security is changing the way you connect with your home, making it safer, smarter, and more efficient. Now you can manage your home wherever you are with a single app. Lights, locks, thermostats, 24-hour security monitoring, and more, which means you always come back to a safe, comfortable home. Monitoring services start as low as $17.95 per month. Make your home a smart home with ATMC Security.
Welcome back. We're getting ready to do our paella now. This is a dish that is traditionally Spanish, and it's made up of vegetables, different kind of meats, seafood. You can use rabbit, chicken, scallops, mussels, shrimp, just about any kind of meat that you want to prepare in it. It's basically a rice dish where the rice has soaked up all the wonderful flavors and has become one pan of lusciousness. And the traditional way has the seafood in it. We're not doing that today. We're going to do different kind of meats because I want you to really try this before you delve into the seafood part of it. I have cooked 4 rashers of bacon, got them nice and crispy, and what we're going to do is just sort of crumble them up a little bit, and this is going to go into the dish. We're going to reserve it for a little bit, but it will be used in the end, and everything's better with bacon. That's what they're saying now, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to let this get just a hair drier, and I'll finish crumbling that up in a few minutes. All right, to start our sauce, we are going to take nice sized pot that we can get 2 cups of chicken stock. And a cup of chicken broth. And I'm putting in saffron. Now, saffron's a spice that's relatively expensive because it comes from a plant, a crocus plant, actually. It's the stamen that comes out the middle, and it has to be harvested, and it only is ready in October in Spain. So we're gonna put that right in and let this start heating. I want to bring it up to a simmer, and then I'm gonna keep it on real low just to keep it warm. Okay, my pan has 2 tablespoons of the bacon grease getting put in right now. And I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's about right. And I'm just gonna move this around just a hair because I've got some of that bacon residue. And we are going to put in our ground beef. I've got it right over here. And what I want to do is I want to not have it burn, but I want it completely done and nice and brown. So let's keep a watch on this. Now, this is a traditional paella pan. You can do this in a large casserole as long as it's a heavy pan. A little bit short on the sides, and you don't have to go out and buy anything special. All right, while this is getting browned, I'm gonna come over here and prepare the next bunch of food that goes into our paella. And the first thing is a tablespoon of jalapeno pepper. And I have seeded it and cut it in half, and I'm just gonna cut it up real quick. Let's use this knife to get that dicing in there. Okay, it's ready to go in. I have 1 large yellow onion, and this is gonna go in a few minutes too. Let's get back to this meat, make sure it does not burn. All right, that's working. What I also need to do is I need to cut up my ham. And you can either use Serrano ham, if you're lucky enough to find it, or you can use prosciutto. And just get about a 1/4 inch slice, and we're going to cut this up so we have about 3 tablespoons. I've got about 3 tablespoons of prosciutto ready to go. Let me turn the heat down on this all the way. My chicken stock and chicken broth and saffron is going to sit in this pot and just simmer until we're ready to use it. Let's look back at this beef. Nearly all the pink's gone. It's got another minute or 2. All right, it looks like the hamburger is done. Now this is extra lean. That's why we used some of that olive oil and bacon fat, because this is 95% lean. Now what we have to do is we have to remove this from heat, and I am going to take my spatula and take all the juices and my ground beef and just put it in this bowl and get it ready for the next step. Best part about it is it's more or less 1 pan, and I'm gonna put my remaining 2 tablespoons of olive oil in my pan. I'm gonna take my onion, remember 1 yellow onion, diced up. Right on top of that, I'm gonna put my pepper. And on top of that, I'm gonna put my 3 tablespoons of ham. And we're gonna give it a nice stir and let that cook down until the onions are opaque. All right, the onions are just about opaque, and what I'm gonna do now is I've got cabbage, about 1/2 pound that I've diced up. It's going right on top, and we are gonna let that wilt so we get this beautiful medley of the vegetables. All right, this is wilted, and we are going to take some paprika, and this is Spanish paprika. We're going to put that right in. I want to cover the entire cabbage and onion mixture. And we are just going to toss it around until it gets nice and coated. Okay, this is almost ready. We're going to let it cook for just a few more minutes while I get everything else ready to put in. So, we're going to finish crumbling up our bacon. And we are going to put in our rice right now. I want the rice, and it's a short grain Spanish rice, and that's what you want. Don't try to use the long grain rice because it just doesn't pick up all the flavors. So we're going to put this rice right over the top of our vegetables. It's 1.5 cups, and what we're going to do is stir it in. I want it to get all the flavors from the onion, the cabbage, the paprika, and the prosciutto, and we want to get it nice and coated. It'll take about a minute for this to work in and the rice to start toasting a little bit. All right, take a look at this now. It is beautiful. What we're going to do is we're going to take our onion and pop that in. And then I am going to take my broth and I am going to pour that right over the top. And let's give that a nice stir. Don't want it to stick on the bottom, but we want to make sure that we've got enough of everything to soak into that rice and let that rice soak up those wonderful flavors. Okay, now we are going to put in our beef. And that's going to go into that rice too. We're going to try not to stir too much because we don't want the starches from the rice to break down really quickly. Let's turn that off. And we're going to put in about half of this crumbled bacon. So get you a nice handful, put that in, and we're going to keep that for when we're finished. All right, stir around. And we're going to bring this up to a boil. And once we bring it up to a boil, we're going to turn it off and we're going to put it in the oven after I add my peas. These smells are absolutely incredible. This looks like it's setting just perfectly. The only thing I have left to do before I put it in the oven is put my peas on top. And I'm just going to put about 1 cup of peas right on top. And they were frozen peas. So you can use garden peas when you have peas in your garden, but otherwise it's okay to use these. All right, all I'm going to do is just give it a little push on the top to get some of these peas down a little bit, but I don't want it to touch the bottom or disturb the bottom of the pan. So just be real careful. Okay, this looks great. We're going to put it in a 450 oven for between 18 and 20 minutes, and then we'll be getting it out and we'll be close to being ready to eat. In the meantime, we're going to take a little break. We are going to come back and make our appetizer. The mushrooms come out today.
We've got a whole new way to watch TV. Introducing Merge TV from ATMC. It's your ATMC cable TV package delivered over the internet to your favorite streaming device without cable box fees. Plus, you get great features like cloud DVR storage, jump back to the beginning of a show with Start Over, and look back up to 72 hours. You can even personalize TV viewing choices for the whole family. All from the local company you know and trust, ATMC. It's the new way to watch. Merge TV from ATMC.
ATMC is proud to be a recipient of the NTCA Smart Rural Community Showcase Award. Each year, we award education and community grants in our service area. These grants fund small nonprofits and teachers who are committed to building a better future for Brunswick County. We've also built a fiber network to all of the Brunswick County public schools because higher speed internet gives students access to online learning, distance education, and more. ATMC is proud to be your smart rural community provider.
Welcome back. I am just getting ready to make my garlic mushroom toast appetizer. I've got my pan on medium and I'm gonna put in my olive oil. It's Spanish olive oil and it's 5 tablespoons. Want to get it in the pan and getting warm. Let's just roll that around. Okay, that's going. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in a chili, just a red chili, but we need to take the seeds out. So you can cut the top off and then run your knife right down the seam of the edge. And I'm not going to cut the pepper too much because all I want to do is get the seeds out. And you can see how many seeds this little pepper has. It's amazing. Okay, all the seeds are out. So that's going to go in and start to season my oil. Now on top of that, we're going to put in our garlic. And it's a couple of cloves of garlic. That's going to make that oil even tastier. Okay. This is some more of my prosciutto, about 2 tablespoons, right in. Nice stir, and all of a sudden things are going to start to calm down because I'm going to turn it on low as soon as the garlic just starts to turn just a little bit. All right, this is looking good. Now, I have 2 different kinds of mushrooms, and I've got baby bellas and I've got the plain white button mushrooms. If you want to use creminis, just don't use anything too pungent. The baby bellas have enough woody flavor to make this dish really taste great. So we're going to take these and just put them in. Looks like a lot of mushroom, but they will cook down. Just want to make sure your garlic does not burn. So we're going to turn this down just a little bit. We're going to let them start to wilt. All right, these are coming down. So what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of salt and some pepper. So I'm just going to grab some salt, put that in, and let's grind some pepper real fast. And this is seasoning to taste. So whatever you feel like, do it the way you like it. Some people can't have too much salt in their diet, so make it for you. All right, let's give that a nice stir. And I think it's just about time for the paella to come out. So let me grab my hot pads and I'm gonna see what's happening in here. Oh, it's perfect. Take a look at that. Now, what we have to do is we have to cover this with foil and let it set for about 10 minutes. It's got a nice brown crust around the edges, which is just what we want. That's some of the most important parts. All right. Pull this back a little bit. Shut this oven. And just cover the top of it. Okay, these mushrooms are looking great. While these mushrooms are finishing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the aioli that we're going to use on the bread. Because we're going to toast some bread and put these mushrooms right on top. Okay, I've got a cup of mayonnaise. Just put it in your bowl. We're going to put a little bit of that Spanish olive oil in. We're going to put some lemon juice, fresh squeezed. And we need some garlic in this. So let's get a couple of cloves of garlic. Just want to cut off anything that I don't like that I see. And I'm going to cut it in half because this is a big piece of garlic. And what we're going to do is just give it a nice press. Take your knife and get it right in there, and we'll get the remainder out. All right, this is the last of my 2 big cloves of garlic because they were absolutely so huge, they would have equaled 4. So let's give this a nice stir. Now this is what you call a lot of garlic for us in this mayonnaise, but it will be worth it on that toast with those mushrooms. Okay, I've got my aioli made, my mushrooms are working, a little bit of the liquid has to cook out, then we're gonna cover them. I'm gonna cut my bread. I've got a nice baguette. I'm gonna cut it into pieces for my toast. So while I do that, I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and I'll see you with my toast cut when you come back.
Almond plus Charlotte Electric plus Maytag equals 1 legendary apple pie. It begins with the finest ingredients kept Maytag fresh. Then, Maytag's precise baking means the flakiest, tastiest crust ever. Finally, her ultra-quiet Maytag dishwasher makes cleanup ultra easy. Mom, apple pie and Maytag, dependably yours at Charlotte Electric stores.
Okay, I have chopped up my fresh parsley. I have put my toast at rest right now. I just took a tiny bit of olive oil, went over the top and put it under broil, so it's ready to start making stuff. Okay, I have 1 piece, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this and put a nice slather, and you can see this has got lovely pieces of garlic in it. Not too bad, but just right. Now, our mushrooms are done, and what I want to do is get a spoon. I'm gonna move this over. I'm gonna put my towel down to hold my mushrooms, and I am just gonna take about a tablespoon, get a little bit of that ham in there, and pile them on the top. And then I'm just gonna take a little sprinkle of parsley and give it that great touch of green. Okay, these are ready to go. As soon as I finish the rest of them, I'm gonna do one quick thing, and that is I'm gonna put the rest of my bacon on my paella, and it'll be ready in about a minute. So I'm gonna finish up my appetizers and put everything together, and I'm on the way. Let's get ready to eat.
Do you have Wi-Fi dead zones in your home? If you have a fast internet package, your wireless router is most likely the bottleneck because it can't handle all the new devices in your home. We now have a solution to enhance your internet experience. ATMC Premium Wi-Fi improves performance and coverage issues in any size home. For only $7.95 a month, you'll get Wi-Fi service plus management and maintenance you can rely on. So transform your Wi-Fi dead zones into total home Wi-Fi coverage with ATMC Premium Wi-Fi.
We have had a great time today. I have enjoyed getting to know the cuisine of another country, and even though this is not traditional Spanish, it has a big Spanish influence. Now we've got our mushroom crostini. It's got a lot of garlic aioli on it. Looks wonderful, and I even snitched a taste, and they're really good. The paella is all ready to go. The one thing about paella is that you can eat this room temperature, you can eat it warm, you can eat it hot. It's what you like and the way you like it. The one thing I want to show you is the little crust area on the bottom. This is the important part. Everybody loves that little brown edge. So we're gonna have fun with our paella, our almond crisps with sherbet, and I've even made some sangria. And you can go online, just go to Facebook and search for the Coastal Kitchen, and all of these recipes are here. We'd love to have you visit us again. Have a great afternoon, and we're getting ready to have a good tasting here.